Because you know how people say, man, it takes years to write.
Because they're learning how to write.
Yeah.
I've been writing. I write movies.
Mm-hmm.
I know how to write beginning, middle, end, break down structure.
Yeah, writing movies is difficult. Trust me.
I write parodies, which is the hardest movie to write. People want to sleep. A parody is the hardest movie to write because you still have to have a story, and everything has to be funny. The place, the location got to be funny. The description of the location got to be funny. The action that the character does got to be funny. The character got to be funny. His dialogue got to be funny. The close-up or the angle or the shot that you're cutting to, that got to be funny. There has to be 10 jokes on a page. So that's what I do, man. I'm my life has made me this, so I'm not tripping, man.
Hey, man, and you and Jada, y'all have known each other. You say you were 19?
17. I known Jada since I was in college. I was 18. I met her backstage in Living Color.
Really though?
Yeah,
wow.
We just became like best friends.
Hey,
like,
man.
We used to call each other every night. We sometimes fall asleep on the phone, and we used to talk about, people we was dating. And she taught me so much about like love. She was
and
so
you put
smart.
that in there, bro.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I joked, but I honored her beauty.
You put her on the pedestal,
and
you brought her off the pedestal.
How great she is.
Yeah.
But she's human.
Yeah.
And his was funny. Nobody was.
Did you really
too big
meet
to
Will
hit.
Smith like that at Jada's house?
Yeah.
That's crazy. If you've seen the special, you know how crazy his interaction with Will Smith was the first time at Jada's house. It wasn't pretty.
Yeah. Man, so these ain't just jokes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
did you see how hurt I was on the stool? Like, he knew what he was doing. Like, the pain, that's the thing, right? Is the character, Marlon, in the movie, in the play, it was like a play. It was like a movie.
Yeah,
it was
man.
like you enter this thing.
Yeah,
the first 10 minutes is the setup, and it's a tick, 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 tick.
Yeah.
And then when you do the first God Loves Me, it's a roller coaster. And after that,
bro.
you're like, wait.
Yeah.
And then it stops. So you go, wait, we going backward? Oh, yo. And
explain that. You explain.
Yeah. And, comedians don't like to hear their shows are like one-man shows, but this show was truly like a one-man show. Because Marlon put a lot of his physicality to use in the special and, kind of bringing things up. I actually want to watch it again now that we're talking about it. But yeah, it kind of plays out like a play in some ways. So he's right about that. I'm glad that was a conscious thought on his behalf.
Explain that very well, bro.
Yeah.
Like very well, man. And like I say, for those, if you haven't had a chance to check it out, make sure you guys check out Marlon Wayans' God Loves Me.
Thank you, my brother.
Yeah, hey, dude. And it was crazy because last night I was rewatching it, right? And my wife came in because I was laughing so hard. And then when I went upstairs, she was watching.
Oh, how funny.
Because I'm telling you, man, I was down, and especially I told you I kept rewinding parts. And when you do the sitting down with the black people, white people thing, bro, I lost it.
Thank you, brother.
And I already knew the material.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like I was going back right. No, I just kept watching. You know what it reminded me of, bro? And this is no joke, and this is not because you're here. It reminded me of the first time I saw Eddie Murphy in Delirious.
Damn.
It was like something that I was like, dude, I used to watch Delirious over and over and over.
Me too.
Greatest compliment I ever
And
had.
I'm telling you, man, I was hitting Marlon last night. I was like, Marlon, this is genius, man.
Thank you, brother.
Like, this is genius, bro. So great work. Thank you for coming.
Took me 40 years in this industry to come up with that.
That's interesting because, that's high praise for someone from our era. Delirious, Raw, Eddie Murphy, Raw. I don't know if I put God Loves Me on that level personally, but Big is putting it up there. So that's a high praise right there, man. Any of y'all who've seen Delirious, you know how it is. That was a classic that gets watched over and over again. Like you can recite the jokes back and forth. And I did find, even on my last videos, some of these jokes I knew off the top of my head, especially the time of the Oscars, you know what I mean, that Marlon does. So that's a good sign.
Years in this industry to come up with that. It took me 40 years of writing, of acting, 30 years of learning how to write, 20 years of producing. It's all of it came together for that moment. And what's beautiful about this is I wrote it in 3 months on a stage. I never wrote anything down. I just had concepts in my head. And normally you tour material for 2 years.
Jay-Z.
I toured it for 3 months, and I shot it from March 27th. So we're talking about April. From April to August is when I shot it. August 7th in Atlanta. And it took me all this time to cut it together, then sell it, and and then to have it licensed by HBO Max.
That's 5 months. He put together this special in 5 months. That's really short for a comedian. You know what I mean? A lot of guys like to work their material out before they put it out as a special. But this was hot off the presses, man. This is like ripped from the headlines. It still took him a while to get it out and get the distribution, but man, and that's impressive. You know what I mean? If you cranking out specials at that clip.
And then
when you went to go do that, you didn't have the deal in place?
No.
You just knew you had something.
I know.
And you had to do this.
I don't like sitting on material. I knew I had something great, and I was like, I want to bet on me. If people don't want to bet on me, I'm going to bet on me. I know what I can do at this point. You know, I'm at that place where I see what people who bet on themselves. Tyler Perry bet on himself. You got a point. You got to bet on yourself. I know what I am, and you have to put it in the universe, and you have to do the work and mean it. I've done the work, and once you do the work and you're willing to continue to do the work because you never rest on your laurels, then you bet on yourself. So I bet on myself. I knew this was great. I got my...
Yeah, man, that's just important, man. Putting up your own money and betting on yourself. A lot of us, it's funny he brings up Tyler Perry, but a lot of us who've been in the industry for a while, you realize it's never going to be perfect. And the only way to get something out of it as a performer is to start having some ownership in it. Start putting your own projects out there. Now, Marlon's an extreme case because he's put out successful movies already, TV shows with his name as producer and writer, and so many other things. For him to come back now and then produce a stand-up comedy special, you know, that's a real investment, and that's a real bet on yourself and your future. So yeah, man, that's dope.
In fact, I was working on a whole nother special about my mom. That I love my mom. I said, I love you to death. I got to put you aside, Vyra. I got to get these jokes. And she said, go ahead, baby.
Yeah.
And so I went and put this together, and then I'm back to, and I know my next 3 specials.
Like? You know what I'm saying? Because you lost your mom as well, right?
Yeah, but see, I'm talking about the things for me. I talk about me. I don't, even though the slap was about the slap, it was really about how the slap affected me, which makes it personal to everybody else because it did affect everybody.
And
in
then
some
you
way.
think about, in some way, because you think about like my relationship with Will. Will changed my life when we did the weight loss challenge and getting my health together.
Right.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, man. There's certain people, just like Big Boy, they had to make a decision at that point. The loyalty for Chris Rock and the loyalty to Will Smith. Will Smith literally changed this man's life. He changed Big Boy's life for the better. Helped him lose hundreds of pounds, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? Not hundreds. Maybe hundreds. But yeah, it changed his whole life around. And so people will have a natural loyalty to that. So then do they mount up and ride for Will Smith? We slapping people, Will? That's what we doing? But then to also have a relationship with the other party, you know what I mean? It left a lot of people conflicted. And I think Marlon was one of those people, as well as Tony Rock, which I'll probably get into in another video. But yeah, that conflict back and forth and choosing sides and loyalty, you know what I mean? Because what if Will's like, yeah, you didn't stand up for me when I slapped Chris Rock? You know, like, you got to make a choice. You want to be on the right side of history or you want to be right?
And you know, Chris Rock been down with me for many years. And then you've been waiting for these moments. You know, the reason why I saw that slap in real time, Marlon, is because I was watching to see Will Smith win.
Yeah.
You know, I
don't know how to feel when he won. It was like he slapped so hard. The audience got slapped. They was like, I'm going to get up for this. I know what he did is wrong, but
my man was like, every time they come out of commercial break, like, welcome back to the Oscars. Like, man.
I went out that night.
Oh, yeah.
And I went out Oscar night, and it was funny because everybody was talking about it in pockets. And everybody's like, Marlon, what do you think? I said, no, I'm gonna do this on stage. I said, I'm
you
not
knew
gonna,
then.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna talk about this. I want to talk about it on a stage in front of an audience, because I'm not gonna, some people are sensitive. I cracked a few jokes. I think I cracked a joke, and Tyler Perry was like, oh, it's inappropriate. And I was like, you rich nigga. And then, but I was like, I was sitting with Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade, and we was talking about it, and they was like, we can't wait to hear what you got to say about it. I said, I'm going to show it to you. And then Gabby texted me after she saw it. Her and Dwayne, they were just laughing, quoting and laughing. And because, we can be hard on each other, which is good. People aren't phony. If they don't like something, they ain't going to say nothing. Or my family going to be like, I ain't like that.
Right.
It feels good when you do something that people really like, because.
Yeah, and he talks about this in the special too, about his seeking of approval, That's a hard road to go if you're constantly seeking approval. But imagine the pressure of coming from a family with multiple legendary comedians, legends in film, like in comedy in general. It's a lot of pressure. And I think Marlon, even as successful as he was, always felt like he was in the shadows because he didn't have this stand-up piece. And I think this is almost therapy for him. It's almost healing. It's almost him stepping out of his, because he talks about, how Chris Rock heckled him while he was on stage and he didn't do comedy for 20 years. That's trauma. That's something, that he had to suck up, that he had to work through, So yeah, I'm glad he's out of it and he's getting out here, because, we've been missing out, man. We haven't got Marlon's comedy, man.
That's what you do it for. You try to tell one joke that makes the whole world laugh. I want everybody to enjoy this, including, and most of all, Chris, Jada, and Will. Because a great joke, everybody, especially the people that you're making fun of, can laugh the loudest. I think this is a safe place. I think it's, for them, it's healing. I would watch it and I would laugh at it. And I'm here. I love you all, and I did it out of love, because none of y'all could talk about it. Now, right. Can we all come to the principal's office, and can we mediate this? Right. Can we fix this? Can we somehow, some way put this back together? Because this is a blemish and a bruise on us, and we have to fix that. We have to teach our generations coming behind us,
yes, sir,
that we know how to forgive and heal.
Yeah.
Other people can fight. I'll kill you, this and that. And the next day, they're at lunch together.
Right.
Other people do that.
They're called the Rolling Stones. I hate you.
I was about to call them the white folks.
Isn't that true, though? No, hold up. God damn. Isn't that true, though? We can be so unforgiving. Like, the embarrassment of the situation, can't be escaped. But at a certain point, you hope that Will and Chris can have this sit down as brothers, as legends, OGs in this. And, Tony Rock also gave it the fact that Will didn't offer an apology, at least to his knowledge, to Chris Rock after the slap, even though he mentioned that in his apology to the public, which I thought was interesting. So there's some bad blood there, but you hope with time we can figure things out like this. We can't keep beef going. You know what I'm saying? Like that, you have two entities that are monumental, that are huge, that could be combining their efforts together to make something even better. You know what I mean? So yeah, we probably a long way off from that. I'm just gonna be honest. Because once you physically assault somebody, it's up to them to really come back to the table. But yeah, it's and then after the special that Chris did is another issue, you know what I mean? And Marlon.
Called the Rolling Stones. I hate you.
I was about to call them the white folks. But brothers, we have to learn to heal, right? To let things go. Yeah, it happened. Now, how do we get better from this? Let's go do some movies. Let's go do a tour. Let's go do some workshops with some kids. Let's go donate some money somewhere so to violence and teaching kids to go to therapy and work on their mental health. Let's do something positive with this negative.
That's a very mature approach. Shout out to Marlon. Give it up for him. Check, if you haven't caught it yet on HBO Max, go check out God Loves Me, the special. A majority of the people in the comments liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was refreshing at this time. You know, it kind of was a addendum to the Chris Rock special, you know what I mean? An add-on, because I actually saw Marlon special after Chris Rock special. But I thought it was good. And I think there's a lot of moments in there that we haven't gotten in a long time. Somebody described it as, you know, going back to In Living Color days. You know what I mean? You remember those days? I used to love In Living Color, man. Especially when I was in like, I'm not even gonna date myself. But great comedy. And it's about time we get back to some of that. It's about time we have some specials that are actually special. You know what I mean? But shout out to Marlon, you know, good points were made here. Anyway, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification for all uploads. This is Faucette Media.